24 जुलाई 2015 को पीएचडी हाउस न्यू दिल्ली में पीएचडी चैम्बर द्वारा आयोजित की गई एक कॉन्फ्रेंस फार्मा एक्सपोर्ट्स एपीआई चैलेंजेस। इस कॉन्फ्रेंस में शामिल हुए फॉरेन डेलीगेट्स और एम्बेसी प्रमुख। इस कॉन्फ्रेंस का शुभारंभ दीप प्रज्वलन के साथ किया गया। इस मौके पर मंच पर उपस्थित विभूतियों को प्लांट देकर स्वागत किया गया।
On behalf of PhD Chamber of Commerce and Industries and myself, it gives me immense pleasure to extend a hearty and warm welcome to all of you. I'd like to thank all the eminent speakers for joining us this morning. I also welcome members who are representing various parts of the industry and also all the friends from the media. The Ministry of Chemicals and Fertilizers has rightly declared this year as the year of the API and hence a critical need to act quickly on this sector. I am sure that the distinguished panels of experts would give their considered view on the subject in the plenary session and discuss how we should handle the current situation and strategize to surpass China and become the world #1 manufacturer of APIs.
इस आयोजन में फार्मास्यूटिकल एक्सपोर्ट्स की प्रमोशन और इंडस्ट्री में आने वाले चैलेंजेस पर चर्चा की गई।
Our conference today is regarding pharma exports and API challenges. And prior to this conference, we had tried to discuss with as many people as we could, our members and other industries, to really put forth what are the key issues facing our industry and what are the challenges that we are facing in this regard. Today, the largest generic API manufacturers, #1 is China and #2 is India. Ironically, and this is a very interesting element, India imports 70% of its API needs, 80% of which is out of China. This is one of the most interesting dynamics which we have come across. However, the flip side is that while Chinese exports are rapidly also moving to developed markets, 39% of all Chinese exports are moving into developed markets. 53% of total pharmaceutical exports from China are API exports, compared to 24% in China. What it means, even today in India, there's more value addition in our exports vis-a-vis China. But in the longer run, we should expect more and more Chinese formulations also moving into many markets internationally.
The subject of my slides is the new destination for a better partnership. You are unaware that Tunisia, with its 11 million inhabitants, that's mean exactly 1% of the Indian population, 3,000 years history, more than 164 square kilometers, and located at the heart of the Mediterranean region, is in fact a gateway to Europe, Middle East, Africa, Asia, and America.
As an archaeologist, I take the horizontal and the vertical view of these matters, and to try to take stock about the larger picture, how we have to understand and also try to work out our modalities working with our neighborhood. What we have to understand is the potential, especially the social, material, intellectual and technological, financial and communication basis we have already developed. All this is new that has developed in the last 10 years as compared to the beginnings of SAARC, which was somewhat backward in its aspirations and also its achievements. We are looking at a new SAARC, moving into a new territory and new potentialities.
I'm sure with Indian companies exporting already to Sri Lanka, your views would definitely motivate them to strengthen the relationships with the country.
I am extremely happy to be here to give a few thoughts on this subject. All of us are aware that India's growth is tremendous, especially in the field of pharmaceutical. I think during the past 10 years, I must say the growth is really spectacular. Several times we have grown in the overall production as well as in the export scenario.
We are very grateful to Excellencies from Sri Lanka and from the Tunisia to have graced this occasion, sir. We are really grateful to you and very honored that you have given a very good insight of your countries.
इस कार्यक्रम का मुख्य आकर्षण था क्वेश्चन आंसर राउंड, जिसमें लोगों ने बड़े उत्साह से हिस्सा लिया। इसके साथ ही स्टार्ट हुआ फर्स्ट सेशन, जिसमें देश विदेश से आई हस्तियों ने पार्टिसिपेट किया।
आज हिंदुस्तान ने काफ़ी तरक्की की। सुबह आपके स्पीकर्स ने भी कहा था कि 91 के बाद जब से हिंदुस्तान लिबरलाइज हुआ है, इंडस्ट्रियल ग्रोथ काफ़ी हुई है, और स्पेशली फार्मा की ग्रोथ अगर आप देखो तो 95 के बाद एकदम फिनोमिनल ग्रोथ हुई है। सेक्रेटरी साहब ने भी कहा है कि अपना टर्नओवर करीब 2 लाख करोड़ का है, जिसमें 1 लाख करोड़ एक्सपोर्ट होता है, 1 लाख करोड़ डोमेस्टिक माल बिकता है। मंत्री महोदय, आपसे एक बहुत ही बड़ा निवेदन है कि फार्मा को आप एक ही मिनिस्ट्री दीजिए, चाहे वो CDSC हो, प्राइसिंग हो, मतलब जो भी फार्मा रिलेटेड मुद्दे हों। एक्सपोर्ट्स तो खैर कॉमर्स में रहेगा ही, लेकिन बाकी सब एक ही मंत्रालय में आनी चाहिए, उसमें बहुत ही आराम रहेगा।
मुझे बड़ी खुशी होती है कभी कभी ये बात देख कर के हम फार्मास्यूटिकल में हमारे देश को काफ़ी मदद हो रही है। हम सक्सेस इंडस्ट्री में हम काम कर रहे हैं। आप लोग देश के हित में आपका काम चलता है। हम आप लोगों के बीच में आना नहीं चाहते, जितनी हो सके उतनी मदद करेंगे, और 150-200 के करीब देश में हम पहुंच चुके हैं आपके माध्यम से, और इतना सक्सेस तो शायद कोई और इंडस्ट्री में नहीं मिला जिन्हें हमें इसमें मिल रहा है। और एक भारत देश की पहचान के रूप में कभी भारत देश को दुनिया का मेडिकल शॉप भी कहा जाता है। हम चिंता ये करते हैं कि शुरू करना आसान है, लेकिन उसको जारी रखना, उसको मेंटेन करना, ये बहुत बड़ा चैलेंज है। और इस चैलेंज को स्वीकार करते हुए हम सरकार ही नहीं, आप लोगों का उसमें हमसे अधिक योगदान चाहिए, उसके बगैर हम ये सक्सेस भी नहीं हो सकते।
Some of these initiatives will give you benefits to the tune of about 10 to 15% of your cost base. And this I'm talking about from experience, from implementing some of these initiatives in pharma industry. So there is a lot of potential that is available. The only thing is that whether government will do a lot of things, whether internally can we get together and implement some of these things is going to be something that all of us should look forward to, because there is a lot of potential that is available to drive profitability. This is what I wanted to talk to you about. I hope I've kept it a little crisp and somewhat relevant to your industry. I thank again for this opportunity to come here and speak to you about something that I focus on and I'm passionate about. Thank you.
The most important thing is that we do not have any fermentation facility in bulk volume. So that is what the most important link is. If China were to arm twist, like Mr. Sikri said, only for potassium clavonate, like they can go ahead and make us pay for the prices of medicine, what we are doing today, to 3x, 4x, whatever, and we don't have a choice. So it's very important here that India develop its own scale of bulk volume fermentation industry so that the basic building blocks are built here and we are not subject to blackmail. As long as we have upwards of 25% of dependence upon domestic sources, probably China will not be in a position to arm twist us the way they have the vulnerability that is there today.
Everyone talk about innovation, but we also know the innovation and research needs lot of inputs in terms of money, in terms of human resource, in terms of knowledge. Like the main goal of pharma industry today is like maximize the profit through invention and marketing of drugs. When we are talking about the China market, APIs from China, we are losing our profits because of the cost effectivity.
Shortage of skilled manpower near the cluster area. Although skill development program of Prime Minister is really going to yield good results, but this has to be taken into consideration very seriously. Next is dumping of product by China, the product which are already being manufactured here, and our anti-dumping laws are very slow, very weak. By the time results comes, and we do not know whether the result is going to come in a positive way or in a negative way. So 2 years. So we have to fight with the government, from associations, from chambers, that the anti-dumping law has to be passed.
The major components we are mistaking as pharmaceutical as one. Actually, pharmaceuticals have to be divided into three parts. One is chemical intermediates, second is API manufacturing, and third is formulation of medicines. Now, a layman only sees this as a whole, and that is why all your policies are misguided.
इस आयोजन में आई हस्तियों को उनके डेडिकेशन और कंट्रीब्यूशन के लिए सम्मानित किया गया। इस आयोजन में आई विभूतियों ने अपने विचार कुछ इस तरह व्यक्त किए।
The advantage is that rather than having one central point in one country, we have the set connectivity to all the SAARC countries where we can share information and what we call known to know, but it's a need to know basis for various aspects.
I'm very proud and very pleased to be here in the PSG Chamber of Commerce, which we have a good relationship. I'm here on this occasion for the conference of pharma and talent, which is practically the same in Tunisia.
Today we are exporting products to an extent of about 1 lakh crores. We are also domestic needs we produce to an extent of 1 lakh crores. Totally 2 lakh crores products are produced in India every year for both the domestic as well as exports. We stand in the world rank third in terms of volume, but in terms of value we stand 13th.
डिजिटल इंडिया में हमने देखा है कि गवर्नमेंट जो काम कर रही है वो बहुत अहम चीज़ें हैं। जैसे बैंकिंग क्षेत्र में इनने बहुत काम करा है, लैंड रिकॉर्ड्स में बहुत काम करा है, और सारे एरियाज़ में हम देखते हैं कि डिजिटाइजेशन, कंप्यूटराइजेशन, वेरी लार्ज इंटीग्रेटेड सर्किट्स काम आ रहे हैं, और इससे जो आम आदमी है उसके लेवल पे लाइफ में बहुत अफेक्ट आएगा, ओपननेस होएगी, ट्रांसपेरेंसी होएगी।
एपीआई का चैलेंजेस लेके देखिए अपने बहुत थिन आइस पे हैं। चाइना सब सप्लाई कर रहा है। अब गवर्नमेंट को जल्दी से जल्दी ऑन अ वॉर फुटिंग इस जो भी उनकी एपीआई पॉलिसी है इंडस्ट्री फ्रेंडली वो तुरंत इम्प्लीमेंट कर देनी चाहिए, और जो भी एपीआई मुख्य 12 एपीआईज मेनली चाइना से इंपोर्ट होते हैं वो सब की फैक्ट्रियां लग जानी चाहिए।
For the growth of the pharmaceutical sector of India, a couple of things which need to be done so that we are the global leaders sooner than the later. I think one of the major things which needs to be done is to get the required support on policy issues from the government of India, so that the Indian industry can proliferate, can expand, and can open up new manufacturing units. This will depend a lot on how swiftly the government can move to consolidate and make the sector far more productive than any of the counterparts in any other country.
देखो, प्रधानमंत्री जी का क्लियर दृष्टिकोण है कि हर क्षेत्र में हम पहले से बेहतर आगे बढ़ें। औषधि के क्षेत्र में भी हम आत्मनिर्भर बन रहे हैं, और जहाँ पर बल्क ड्रग है, मेडिकल डिवाइसेस है, इन सभी बातों को लेकर हमारा मंत्रालय काम कर रहा है, और इसी माध्यम से हम देश की नागरिकों का स्वास्थ्य और देश का भी स्वास्थ्य मेक इन इंडिया के माध्यम से हम पूरा कर सकते हैं, और यही सरकार काम कर रही है।
इस कॉन्फ्रेंस में जहां फार्मा एक्सपोर्ट्स के डेवलपमेंट और इसमें आने वाली चुनौतियों को लेकर एक पॉजिटिव अप्रोच नजर आया, वहीं आपसी बातचीत और सहयोग से फार्मा इंडस्ट्री की प्रोग्रेस को भी एक नई दिशा मिली। न्यू एक्सपेक्टेशन, फर्म डिटर्मिनेशन से एक न्यू डायरेक्शन की ओर बढ़ने का संकल्प लेकर ये कॉन्फ्रेंस सफलतापूर्वक संपन्न हुई।